CT Moore, I'm here with David Zülke, the lead developer for the Agave framework. We're at Confu. How are you, David?
I'm good, thanks. Bit of a headache. So we were drinking last night. The speakers dinner was awesome, but this is unrelated, I hope.
You gave a presentation yesterday.
Yes, on the Agave framework.
What did you cover?
Well, basically the framework basics, what's the structure, etc. And I'm giving a talk on MapReduce tomorrow, so it's actually going to be a two-part hands-on with Apache Hadoop, essentially, showing people how MapReduce works and how to build simple indexes and search stuff with it.
So we're at an open source conference, and one of the odd things is that Microsoft, of all companies, is one of the sponsors. What do you think it means for developers now that Microsoft is engaging the open source community?
I think for many of us it's really strange. I think Microsoft, they have realized that they need to do this because otherwise they're going to lose a whole bunch of battles against Linux and competing operating systems, competing platforms. They're not competing just Windows against Linux. It's Internet Information Server versus Apache, even on Windows. It is Microsoft SQL Server versus MySQL, Oracle, and Postgre. And they realized that they need to start to embrace the open source community. I'm relatively happy with the job they do for PHP in particular, because they hired a bunch of people who spend every day improving PHP on Windows. They have a dedicated team for that, and PHP 5.3 in particular on Windows runs really, really well. They have made great progress. PHP used to be a second-class citizen just a while ago, and PHP 5.3 now is really, really good. I think it's interesting that for the Azure platform, they explicitly support PHP, and they have this entire PHP on Windows thing that kind of ties in with Windows Azure, because the next big battle of technology on the web, I think, is going to be in the cloud. And Microsoft has a relatively solid product, I think. It'll depend on how they price it, but essentially they're competing against Amazon with their EC2 stuff, and also Google's App Engine. And Google supports Java and Python, I think. And Microsoft explicitly has this PHP support on Windows. We're going to be working with Microsoft to add Windows Azure support out of the box to Agave, so that you have access to all the tables and queue systems they have, and also because the request handling is going to be a tiny bit different if you run your application in the cloud. And Microsoft is really supporting people very well, because they realize that they need to approach developers, help them, and I think they're doing a pretty good job at it.
David Zülke, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.